Hi, Roman.
Hi.
Hello. We are in Lisbon.
Yes.
We're in Portugal, a beautiful, beautiful place. And I wanted to talk to you about the business that you're building not in Portugal, in Indonesia.
In Southeast Asia, basically, the Philippines and Indonesia.
Yeah. Can you please tell a little bit more about what your business in Indonesia right now about, what you're doing there?
What we are doing basically, we teach people with tech skills and
Okay.
provide them with the jobs. We teach them to be data analysts, web developers, and digital marketing managers. And we have two countries right now in which we are operating. It's Indonesia and the Philippines. We started in the Philippines in 2022, and then in January. And in April, we started in Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you teach them what, like tech skills?
Oh yes, tech skills. So basically, we teach them with Python, with SQL, with Power BI. If we talk about data analytics, and the important thing that we provide them with a job, and we have a job guarantee.
So when they graduate the school, how is the business called?
Refocus.
So Refocus is the name of the school.
Yeah.
Is it like an online school?
Yes, it's online school. 85% of our lections are pre-recorded, but we have a lot of homeworks and a lot of project assignments. So
Wow.
during their study, every student of Refocus, they do basically the same test they will do during their job. So we're very job-oriented courses. The university, the main problem of the universities is that they do not provide people with the job-ready skills.
Yep.
Usually, and and it has its own very big legacy, and so usually the materials for very demanded skills, they are out of date.
Okay.
And the circle of refreshing these materials is very long.
Okay.
For universities. So that's why, and that's when e-tech companies appeared on the market to solve this issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same moment, we're speaking about we call it university, right? So how you call it, school or university?
Oh, we call it academy. Academy or school or just e-tech platform.
Yeah.
Or sort of that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's mostly for the people who already have some kind of education, or they want to start a new job, or they want to have more skills in their existing job. How does it work? Who is your main audience?
Basically, our main audience are people on entry-level positions, such as call center guys, BPO workers, blue-collar workers, and so on. They're stuck in their current job. They do understand that being in IT is the most safe and the most prospective place. Almost every of them have friends or sort of that, or even relatives that work in IT, and they see that IT people works 40 hours per week. They spend weekends with their families. They earn more than $1,000 per month, and that's a big deal.
In Indonesia, that's
Absolutely, yeah.
It's locally for Indonesia because, if we speak about Singapore's
Absolutely,
level
yes.
of life is on different.
Absolutely, yes. The Indonesia has its own contrasts. So in Indonesia, the big skyscrapers and people who earn $1 billion, they are very close to people from the village or even from the slums. So the difference is very huge. And our target audience, they usually earn from $300 to $600 per month, and basically they're struggling for their life because they live in a dorm. They spend more than 80 hours per week on the different jobs and so on. So what we do, we're switching this, switching this difference, and we transform people who earn $300 per month into people who earn more than $1,000 per month. And it's also good for economics because governments start earning 5x more only by taxes, yes, because of progressive scale of taxes, and also people start spending more in the country. So it's also an investment into economy. So basically, we're good for people and for economy also.
Yeah. So you were helping the middle class to grow
Absolutely.
in Indonesia.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So It all sounds very interesting, but at the same moment, somebody could ask, like, why Indonesia? Why, from all of the countries where you could have started this, why you chose Indonesia to start your business?
Oh, basically, yes, we analyzed like a lot of like lots of markets before we decided to go somewhere else. And in the United States, the traffic is very expensive, and there's a huge competition. South America has also already have a huge competition, and the minus of being in South America is that South America countries, they are independent. They depend on the U.S. economy. So, and right now, like everybody understand that the next 5 years there will be a recession in the United States, and all the GDP of South American countries that will also fall. So it's very, depending on the U.S. Economics geo. In India, we have like a lot of six unicorns already in our segment. So that's why we decided to look like more closely to Indonesia and Southeast Asia market like as a whole, because what we saw is also that there is a huge gap between open vacancies and people who really would like to become an IT specialist. So imagine, like, only in Indonesia 600,000 vacancies are opened every year in IT, 600,000, and only 50,000 people graduates from IT universities.
Wow.
So the gap is really huge. If you take like a deep look into Indeed.com or Jobstreet.com, you will see that for each uploaded CV in IT, there is more than 12 open vacancies.
Wow.
So yes, the gap is really very huge. There are a lot of big companies such as Gojek, Grab, Tokopedia, Traveloka had a lot of people, and basically their main struggle is that they cannot hire local people. That's why they're right now they're hiring people from India, or they're hiring freelance, or they like do their job with freelancers. But you cannot rely on freelancers when you're building the big IT department for a multi-app and so on. So that's the big problem, and that's why actually all of these guys, they're waiting for Refocus graduates to finish their education, yes, and be placed there.
That makes sense. But at the same moment, when we speak about, online education, especially for web developers and like, I don't know, project managers and all the sort, it means that the market is there, that the demand is there.
Absolutely.
So, like the whole business, like the whole digital business is growing in Indonesia. And
Yes.
the thing that you're doing is
Yes.
like it's following the trend, the whole market. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are two mega trends. From the one side, really like the companies are constantly in need of the good specialists, and at the same time, people would really like to become an IT specialist.
Yeah.
So this is the second big trend, and we also have the third trend that right now it is not happening right now, but in next 10 years, by different researchers, more than 1.5 billion people will lose their job because of automatization, robotization, and algorithmization.
Wow.
And algorithms actually. And in Southeast Asia, more than 137 million people will lose their job because of that. Self-driving cars, automatic kiosks that push people from the push away people from the desks in the restaurants. Some algorithms that help to decrease costs for the big companies and lay off like a lot of people. So what we're building right now, we're building like a very big company that will help all this kind of people, because once we stack with this problem, imagine like 1.5 billion people in the world will lose their job.
Yeah, that's a huge number. Of
That's
course.
a huge number, and I personally do not believe, in like basic income. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that I don't believe. I think that it will cause like a lot of disaster.
Yeah.
So what we're doing, we're going to be prepared for this big upcoming trend. And what we're doing, we basically learning how to educate basic people with complicated skills.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so when a company chooses Indonesia as their like home place, or where they want to launch the business, or where they want to relocate their business, if they already have a company in somewhere, let's say in US or Europe, how long ago have you started the business in Indonesia, and what were your first steps to start there?
Yeah, for first very important steps is to hire local business development manager.
Oh, okay.
The people It's a person who will be responsible for negotiation with different entities, who will help you also to, to find a good bank for opening an account, and who also can be your nominal director.
Oh, okay.
So that's also very important because if you're a foreigner, you need $750,000 into your capital if you would like to be the shareholder of the company.
Oh, seriously?
Absolutely, yes. So this is a protecting this rule protecting market from like a lot of foreigners who will like take away all the businesses from the local people. So that's why we have like the local directors, and our main goal is like to hire more and more local people because we are not like a foreign. We will not be like a foreign company. We'd like to be a local company.
Okay.
So right now we have already around 80 Indonesian people working in Refocus.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And so basically, yes, first of all, hire business development manager. Then it's very important thing, actually because Indonesia has its own specific and it's beautiful, but it can be frightening for for
Some
newcomers because yes, it's Indonesia has its own flow of doing the business. The relationship comes before the business, and that's very important.
Seriously?
Yes, you need to.
Wow, okay.
You need to meet people. You need to spend some time with them. You need to meet. Sometimes you need to meet with their families and introduce them to your family. And only after that, you can like talk about business.
Okay.
And that's cool. And that's cool. I first 2 months I was very impressed by that. Right now I'm like fully on with that because really during this kind of like long relationships you really can see that if like a person have like different values than you, then you will not do business with this kind of guy, and that's very important thing. And that was what I learned a lot from Indonesia. The second thing is to spend time on customer development because
Okay.
especially for European people, Indonesia has its own beautiful cultural and its own difference how people think about the different things. So I'm a big fan of customer development interviews. So I think that the point zero in each or in every marketing campaign and in every start of the business is doing like a good customer development interviews. You need to hire a person who speaks Bahasa and who speaks English also, so and train him how to do these interviews and validate if really like the target audience really like have a pain, really like have a jobs that you would like to solve with your product and so on. It's also very important and understand how people are talking about these jobs, about their fears, about their barriers, because these will be the raw materials for your future creatives.
Wow. So this is like we're speaking about forming the product market fit.
Absolutely.
Before you go into the market, you need to hire like a local person who will do some customer development.
Yes, do some research.
Interviews. Yeah.
Interviews and talk with local entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, local entrepreneurs. They are very open-minded guys. You can simply write them on LinkedIn, make some meetings, fly to Jakarta. Jakarta is a very beautiful city, and especially in the center of the city, is very futuristic. Yes, you should visit Jakarta. Spend some time sitting in the restaurant with local entrepreneurs. They will tell you a lot about
How vibrant is the entrepreneurial startup, digital and tech scenery? Is there? How many local entrepreneurs can you find who can you can communicate with?
a lot of actually the Indonesia. If we compare Indonesia to other countries of Southeast Asia, Indonesia has the largest number of entrepreneurs.
Wow.
So entrepreneurship is in the blood of Indonesians.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So there is it's very I don't know how to say. It's very cool for people to have a business there.
Yeah, business there. Okay.
Yes.
And the population is quite big.
Absolutely. It's the biggest country in Southeast Asia. It's the biggest country, and in most industries, the biggest market.
Oh, okay. So it's what more than 300 million people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
More than 300 million people in Jakarta. I think there are living like more than 15 million people.
Wow.
Yeah,
It is a big.
Yeah, it's a very big city. It's a very big city, and Bali also has its own, vibe. And in Bali, it's very comfortable to stay, and it is very cool that you can do a business in Jakarta, and then you can go to Bali to have some rest, to like feel your energy and a lot of other stuff.
Refuel, yeah. So,
Yes.
it's actually a very interesting point because for a lot of people, when you say Indonesia, they instantly think of Bali and those beautiful beaches and the beautiful places and surfing and stuff like this. It doesn't sound very, like tech-savvy places. But at the same moment, not a lot of people are very known to Jakarta. And
Yeah.
So, is the like the center of the country where you want to go to develop the business is
Jakarta, of course, Jakarta.
So Bali is a completely like a tourist destination.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
business.
Only if you would like to do some product for tourists, then
Yeah.
you should go to Bali. But like the main business is in Jakarta. There are a lot of skyscrapers, there are banks, there are a lot of startups, and so on. Yeah, Jakarta is the
Since you said about the banks and the buildings, so why do we usually go there when we start a business to open up accounts, to set up our
Yeah.
company and stuff like this? How hard it is? Of course, you said that you need to hire like a local general manager and like a local team. That makes sense. But at the same moment, you want to be like the founder of the company legally. So if you're legally from another country, like from Europe, from States,
Yeah.
How do you come to Indonesia and how easy it is for you to, legally start your business there?
It was very easy for us.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was very easy for us. We just hired like the local directors. We hired a law firm that helped us to do all the paperwork, and that's all basically.
How long did it take?
Well, like around maybe 2 months.
Oh, okay. So in 2 months you have the whole
In 2
good
months,
to go
you will have like the full process set up.
with the bank
You
accounts.
get with a bank account.
Wow, cool. So we are still in Lisbon. It's not San Francisco, but the bridge looks kind of the same, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to also ask you about some difficulties because you said that everything is beautiful in Indonesia, the culture, the business, the everything. But in life usually it's always balanced between good and bad. So what's like the downsides of Indonesia?
Okay, so the difficulties are the following. First of all, the cycle of the deal is much longer than like in Europe, for example, because you need to build a relationship before talking about business. The second thing is that it is very hard to hire qualified people. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like they prefer to stay in Indonesian companies and like in some industries such as web development, data analysts, and so on. Like there are like a big gap, so it's very hard to hire them. That's the second pain point. The third pain point is maybe the cost of living in Jakarta is a bit high.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
so the cost of living is a bit high.
When you say high, you mean like compared to what? Compared to Europe? Compared
I mean, it has a European price. Actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a European price, maybe a bit more if you would like to live closer to the center.
Okay.
To the center. What else? I think that medicine is also can be better there. So
Better?
Better. I mean that it can be better
Okay.
right now. Right now, the level of medicine is not very good there.
Okay.
So basically, that's all. I think yes, that's all. If you are ready to cope with that, to spend like a lot more time on business development, then it will definitely like find your feet there.
What's the usual cycle of a deal for a B2B business?
I think that half a year.
Half a year is like on average, right?
Yes. So you need to develop a lot of leads.
So if you were like the owner of the business, right? You have your front man, you have your CEO or general manager, whatever. He's local guy, and you're the owner of the business. So you're like always behind the curtain. You're always hiding from those business development meetings. Or
No,
it's okay to actually go out
It's
there.
absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay because like one of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs in Jakarta, told me that they are more than welcome to have a meeting with like foreign entrepreneurs because they can see the things from the other perspective. They do respect our experience on our previous markets and so on. So definitely, no, you can make friends there.
Okay. Do you see a lot of people from other countries in general management or C-level management in companies? You know, like your usual.
Absolutely, absolutely. In Lazada, for example, a lot of C-level people are from Italy.
From Italy.
From Italy, yes. Like we have one of our competitor has French guys in C-level. Yeah, there are a lot of expatriates there.
Okay, so like the market is growing faster than it could raise its own C-level management, right? So it's getting some from the other markets. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you live in Jakarta?
I'm traveling actually between Singapore, Manila, and Jakarta.
Oh, okay, because you have businesses not only in Indonesia.
In Indonesia and in the Philippines, and
Okay.
yeah, so we have two countries where we operate.
So is Singapore too crowded already for your type of business?
Singapore has a very small market, so we need to be there. We need to be there, you know, because there are a lot of VCs there, and also the Singapore government make a lot of very smart investments. So we need to like be there to constantly talk with these guys and with these authorities. But Singapore itself is like a very small market compared to Indonesia.
Okay. And Philippines?
And the Philippines is big, has big market. The main advantage of Philippines is that like around 80% of paying audience speak English very well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
It's likewise in Indonesia, or the
no,
situation is different?
in Indonesia, unfortunately, like I think around like somewhere between 10 or 20% of the population who speak English. In Jakarta, of course, more like almost everybody. But in the Philippines, they are really good at speaking English. So, and the funny fact is that we don't have cultural barriers like as European people with the Filipinos.
Okay.
Yes, they are really cool. They're really cool. I like to interact with them, like to have fun with them, to negotiate with them. They're really very cool guys.
Are the traditions of doing business kind of similar to Indonesia, or has its differences?
We think that the Philippines right now is more digitalized than Indonesia. It has smaller market, but it is more developed market. So, for example, if the payment solutions are better in the Philippines, but food delivery is better in Indonesia. I think these countries, they are pretty much the same. They are different, but they are, I think, pretty much on the same level of digitalization.
Wow. Okay. So you said about food delivery. So e-commerce and food delivery.
Yeah.
Is quite popular there.
Yeah,
Already.
yeah.
So it is digitalized. Okay.
Yes. I think that there is space for D2C
Okay.
there. I still think there is a space for fintech companies there because the user experience of some fintech applications are very far from ideal. And the B2B businesses, so the B2B SaaS platforms, so even enterprise products, they're also very good to launch in Indonesia and in the Philippines because you can easily build the sales pipeline if you hire the right kind of person. And the big companies have a lot of money there, really, especially construction companies, banks, and so on. So if you're doing some enterprise stuff that will help these people, these companies to earn more, optimize their costs, it will have success.
So we have a lot of people from retail. Hello to everybody listening to us and viewing us. What do you think about retail in Indonesia and Philippines?
According retail, in Indonesia, it has Tokopedia.
Okay.
Tokopedia is their largest e-commerce platform, similar to Amazon. And it has in 2021, if I do not mistake, it made more than $70 billion revenue.
Oh, okay.
$70 billion revenue. What else? Also, there is Lazada, who is also that is also e-commerce of goods, and Shopee. These, I guess, three main players.
In e-commerce, right?
In e-commerce, yes, in e-commerce.
But general retail, I mean like offline, your brick and mortar retailers.
No, it's funny thing that I really never been there.
So to the shopping malls, you mean to?
There are a lot of malls.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of malls, but in the malls, there I didn't think hypermarkets of food.
Okay.
So because each time I would like to buy some food, I was just clicking into Gojek application,
Oh, okay.
and they have like almost all kind of food that I would like. So, but there are a lot of malls there in the Philippines and in Indonesia. In Indonesia, because the weather in Jakarta, because the weather is very hot.
Yeah.
So people basically spend their time
Where you have the AC, right?
in malls, yes, especially in weekends. So I think for fashion brand, the best thing, the best way to enter the Indonesian and the Philippines market is try to sell something as a D2C.
Okay.
As a D2C, use opinion leaders to market them, and simply like Facebook and Google, because these tools are cheap there.
What will be your strategy to actually launch your business and go-to-market strategy in terms of marketing?
Absolutely, very simple actually. So you need to analyze your audience. You need to gather their like fears, barriers, and so on. Transform this into creatives. Maybe hire some local marketers or copywriters so they can adapt your idea into the local mentality, and then build a website, launch Facebook, Google, TikTok, and that's all.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
think that it makes sense there to actually go D2C with your own website, because otherwise, like in China, where you would not want to build your own pipeline.
No, you definitely can do it with your own website, because people are very open to something new, especially if their like opinion leader will advise them to do so. The opinion leader market there are very huge.
And the buying capacity is there, so the market can actually spend money.
Absolutely. Sometimes people think that Indonesia is a poor country or the Philippines is a very poor country. But guys, it has such a big population that the middle class people that are going to buy your product, this segment is so huge. So you will never face this challenge. I mean, of the paying ability of people.
So especially in this economy where it actually is a challenge and struggle to maintain your business in some well-established regions that we would call them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay, that makes sense.
So, yesterday I was talking with one of venture funds from Canada, and one of these guys, he told me, guys, you're very smart because you entered the market nobody nobody wants to enter, because everybody is afraid of Southeast Asia right now because of the cultural difference, you don't know anything about population and so on, and there are some barriers to enter, but this market is amazing. This market really is amazing, and it's a balance between safe and perspective, because this region, they do not depend on any kind of other economics. So they are basically the GDP growth is like 8% in the Philippines. So that's great. That's a new big thing.
Yeah, and they have their own oil, their own gas, so energy supplies, right? So they manufacture their own agricultural goods. So pretty much self-fulfilled in terms of.
Yes. So I really like this region. I like people. I like the perspectives, and I think that in next 5 years, even the U.S. venture funds, they will also turn their vision into this market, because.
That's interesting. So speaking about right now, the situation that we have right now, so you would say that European, Canadian, U.S. Ventures are not actually not present there yet.
I think they're only started, because not long ago, Sequoia has opened its Southeast Asia department, and some other companies, they're only starting. They're only starting because they also have some inertia, and They do not want to spend much time on analyzing the market and so on. And it's still an emerging market, as they like call it. But I think that like in next 5 years, there will be a lot of attention from the Western funds to this market as well.
Okay, cool. Wow. Thank you very much for telling us about this wonderful market. And I think that if you don't have plans for New Year's yet, you know where to go. You need to go to Jakarta
Absolutely.
to see the market and to see the beautiful country and their culture.
Absolutely, guys. I wish you very good luck, and we are more than welcome to to meet you in Southeast Asian region. Cool.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roman.
Yeah.